I'm back with another video, and it's probably gonna piss y'all off. But guess what? I don't give a fuck!
Well, I love my aunt, but she died.
So yes, as you guessed it, I'm going to be talking about the South today, and all of you crybaby social justice warriors who think the South only means one thing, and that's slavery. But we're going to show you otherwise, and if you don't like it, go change your diaper, get you a nice bottle, because everything you knew about the South is going to be completely wrong. Just like the gentleman you're getting ready to see. Yes, I know, when you see his face, oh my gosh, he's an arrogant, stupid redneck. No, actually, he's one of the smartest men in rap right now. And also, you look at this picture, oh my gosh, well, he's definitely racist there, right? That's where you're fucked up. That's where you're wrong. So just sit back, suck on your bottle, get your nice warm blanket, because we're about to blow your motherfucking mind. Okay, I gotta share this. I'm gonna put it on Instagram, put it on all of my social media. I don't care. My son tagged me in this on Facebook. And this video really pisses me off. This is how shallow and fucked up people are nowadays. So with that said, let's watch this. Terrorists go home. He's sitting there saluting a statue, and all these little wannabe fucking assholes out here doing this. Yeah, he has a gun. Does he have it out? Is he shooting any of them? No, because all these little fucking wannabes. And every more I see this, the more I get pissed, the more I want to fucking kill. I'm not going to say kill somebody. But these little pissy pants people need to go get their diapers changed, have a bottle, and take a fucking nap. So we're going to sit there with our hippie beard and green almost looks like army fatigues. Now, this lovely, fat, black woman here, you're going to love what's that. He's standing at a statue. Saluting it. Now just love what she says.
You have a home to go to, you have people. There are people who are dead here and are injured. Hospital getting, and you are doing this, and you can just stand up and get out! Go home! Get out of here! Go home!
And what's he doing so bad? As he's standing there with the racist Nazi flag, oh, hi, Hitler, as he got a gun pointing at your face? No, but all of y'all are right in his face, and the best thing he does is he just stands there. And that little white, ugly, short-haired it over there, yeah, what she says at the end of the video is just perfect. Now, as you see, these cops are gentlemen, and all of these people, I think, should just be arrested.
Racists go home!
A Nazi. Where do you see a Nazi flag anywhere? And the young man, I wanted to honor my ancestors today, sir. Nazi, he's a Nazi. Where's this Nazi flag at? Boy, y'all are really educated.
They need to know that what they fought for wasn't slavery or oppression of people. Thank you, sir. flag is back there.
When
Put it in the
terrorized my kids
Terrorize my kids.
and his cronies.
And it's gross.
You're doing what you asked.
Can't walk out of the park by yourself, huh? So proud and brave.
You want another day like Saturday, don't you? You should be ashamed of yourself.
That blood is on your hands,
No, it's
not mine.
That blood isn't in your hands, not mine. Okay, how is it on the cops' hands when y'all are the ones out there tearing statues down and tearing the rebel flag down? Because it's all about slavery. Go do your homework. The reason the South seceded from the North wasn't just about slavery. There were other things going on behind the issue, but nowadays, all because you people think you're just so informed about every friggin' thing. Oh, it's always about the slave. Oh, that statue. Oh, it's slavery. And as Upchurch says, a statue is not about slavery. Did you see slaves out there on an auction block getting? No, you didn't. Exactly. So before y'all decide to go and do what all these little stupid idiots do to get their 15 minutes of fame or 15 seconds of fame, maybe you need to sit back and think, where the hell have we gone to? Is it this low? So now that you've got your fill on that, now we're going to get into some facts. Facts that, I don't know, social warriors, they are a little bit illiterate and they don't know how to read. So with that said, we're going to sit back, we're going to listen to the gentleman coming up, and if you don't like it, you know what you're going to do? Call up your lawyer, tell him you need his help. But otherwise, sit your ass back, relax, take a nap, I don't fucking care, and get ready to be schooled, bitch.
Even today, 150 years after the start of the Civil War, scholars that study that era of American history often disagree about the specific causes that led to the beginning of the Civil War. However, there are generally 5 causes that resulted in the southern states seceding from the Union.
Now, do we see this educated black man in a tie? Has on the board causes that led to southern secession, where if you idiots nowadays don't know what that means, it's where the North and the South were together like today. But because of the differences, the South said, okay, we're going to secede from the North. North had their own money, South had their own money. North had their own businesses, South had their own businesses. But if you look at the board, the 5 causes are slavery, one of the causes, states' rights, sectionalism, territorial crisis, and national elections. Oh, look, I must be stupid, but that's 5. But all of you social Facebook warriors say, no, the South was all about slavery. So let's hear this very fine, educated man say what he has to say.
And triggering the American Civil War. Now, those 5 causes are the following:
As I just said.
slavery, states' rights, sectionalism, territorial crisis, and national elections. At this point, I want to focus on 2 of the 5 causes: slavery and...
Now, right there. 2 of the 5 causes that he wants to do. Slavery and sectionalism. Now, knowing all you idiots who get on here and say you know so much about history, We just say, oh, we'll talk about the slavery and we'll talk about how it's wrong. No, he makes a very compelling argument.
Sectionalism. Now with sectionalism, it involves this idea that you have competing interests that have different economies, social structure, different customs, and political values.
Now, did you all see what he just said? The difference? Now, anywhere in there do you say, oh, different, slavery, anti-slavery, oh, the South is racist and the North is right? Wow, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of that. Wow. Wow. Maybe you idiots now ought to just go back to school. I would probably suggest maybe going back to 3rd grade, but knowing some of you idiots, you're probably still in diapers and sucking on bottles, you might need to go back to preschool or daycare.
In the 1800s, those competing parts of the American Union were the states in the South and the states in the North. By the 1860s, before the Civil War begins, the American economy is still pretty much agrarian or agricultural based. However, in the North, states were beginning.
Now, if you see agricultural base, which means if any of you stupid idiots out there don't know what that means, because oh, it probably has something to do with slavery. No, it has to do with the people that works on the farms that brings you your food. How do you think you eat your chicken and your beef? Oh, it just magically falls from the sky onto your table? How do you think you get your sugar and the tobacco that you smoke and your corn, your cotton that makes your clothes? Oh, but don't you know cotton, that's a sign of slavery. Okay, if that's a sign of slavery, then let's just do away with the cotton, and then we'll just all run around naked and be free.
To expand their economies to include manufacturing.
This is where North is wanting to expand.
Producing large quantities of products so that they could be shipped overseas to international markets. Now, the labor that these factories relied upon often included immigrant labor, and that labor was paid labor. Now, this was in contrast to the states in the South. The South was still pretty much an agricultural-based economy. And their major cash...
Now, and I'm just going to put this in there, and I don't care what you say in the comments, I don't care. Okay, now, I know that some of you idiots think back to the 1860s where you see the big, huge mansions like they do now down the South when you go on tours of the things. But, yes, there were, people down there who lived in mansions and had 800 acres and probably had about 100 to 200 slaves living on their grounds that did the work, that worked in the house. That's what you see in your mind. But now let's take a step back, and what you're not seeing is there were farms out there that lived in little rickety shacks they were lucky if they had 5 acres. Oh, to you, 5 acres, well, that's so much. No, it's not for them. Because you got to think, if these only have 5 or 2 acres, what you're looking at is them by themselves, poor as they are. Yeah, they used to sell the slaves on the auction block, and they were lucky if they could even get that. They needed their help. They didn't have them working in the houses. They had them working out the fields, and half the time they were working alongside them in the fields. Now, when slavery was abolished and slavery was ended, all of the slaves were free to go. And of course, before that happened, of course, as we know, we had the Underground Railroad where they could go to the north and they could be safe. You know what this kind of makes me think about? This kind of makes me think about Trump's whole new thing about immigration. But anyway, we're not going to get on that. When this happened, and they abolished slavery, oh, the North was so happy. Oh, President Lincoln, he did a great job. Okay, slavery's abolished. Now what? What do these slaves do? Where do they go? How are they going to eat? And what some of you idiots don't know is, half the slaves didn't leave. Not all slaves were beaten and raped like they do in the movies, and that's what you believe. Half the slaves stayed on and were paid. And some of them, no, they didn't get paid, but they were taken care of. They got their food taken care of. They got their needs taken care of. And there was even some slaves that stayed on long past their white owners dying that inherited the land. Now, how do you think now down in the South, how do you think that these Southern people down South are doing it now? Yeah, we've evolved. We've got more. And also going back on some of the poorer ones, that when slavery was abolished, that ended their way of making any money. That's why we have Appalachia today. And if you don't know what that is, then do some more research. That's where there's kids living up in the Appalachian Mountains that don't get food stamps, that aren't on state government funded things, or they don't even have medical insurance. Running around in a pair of probably dirty shorts that they had to wear for 2 weeks with no food. So if these people in Appalachia they don't know how to grow or hunt, they're sitting there starving. This is what you're great, because that you want to glorify the Civil War. No, it was never glorified. And also, if you want to go into it, when they succeeded and the Civil War started, yes, some blacks ran to the North and fought for the North. Let's take a look back. A lot of the black people stayed and did on the South, because they liked the way the things were and they didn't want it changed.
Crops. That is, the crops that brought in the most money, the most value, included rice, indigo, cotton, tobacco, and sugar. And especially with these crops, it required a lot of manpower to conduct the harvesting of these crops. That meant that the Southern economy was extremely dependent on slavery. So,
okay, did you hear that? Now, of course, I know all of you people who want to be out there talking terrorists go home and tear it down and this and that. Well, you want all that crap, right? But I'm pretty sure your fat asses want to eat and your fat asses want clothes. A lot of manpower, and I wish they would take half of you idiots out there that are acting like this and just arrest you, put you in court, and make you do 100 hours of community service on a farm. See what it's like to pick cotton, if you've never picked cotton before. See, it's like you don't just sit on a tractor all day. You got to hoe the ground, you got to churn it, you got to get it ready for the seed, because if you don't do that, you're not going to have a crop. You got to make sure there's not going to be rocks in it, because if there's rocks in it, that's going to tangle it up when it grows, and guess what? You're not going to have a crop. And half of the Southern people today, that is how they rely. That is their income. So when you go to Walmart and you pick up your can of green beans and your can of peas, or your fresh peas and your fresh corn and your fresh lettuce, maybe you should think in the back of your mind where it came from. It comes from some poor farmer out there blazing in the hot sun to make sure you got food to put in your fat, self-privileged ass.
Much that slavery really became part of the way of life in the South. Now, in contrast, when we look at political values, the North had most of the abolitionist or anti-slavery sentiment, while the South was still pretty much pro-slavery. And because of these competing political values, the structure, and the different economies, the North becoming more manufacturing based, the South continuing to rely on a strong agricultural based economy, you had conflict. And this conflict eventually resulted in the states from the South seceding from the Union, forming the Confederacy, and triggering the beginning of the American Civil War.
And now, as you see, this is from an academy. This isn't just some man on there like you idiots going on there, oh, I'm spouting facts. Okay, but, okay, I'm done right now. I'm done.